Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone that we are presented by BetOnline.ag. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and #1 source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. BetOnline has the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA, and even political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This shit feel like game 7. Put lines up through my S's. Wake up in the morning, count my...
Welcome back to the Money Down, the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. We got former Penn State linebacker, Penn State great Brandon Bell joining us with us tonight. We got a big matchup this weekend. Number 3 Penn State coming to Camp Randall. We had our one opportunity already to play a big time team in Camp Randall. Didn't go so well, but now we got a big a big tempo walking into our territory. Penn State's been playing some good ball. So, what have you been liking so far about y'all squad this year?
Man, we had some gutsy games so far, which against some opponents, a lot of people didn't think should have been close and tight, in Bowling Green. But I think as we all know, those tight games, no matter who it's against, you pull through. It means something. So we got some onions going on in the squad. We got talent, and just kind of waiting to see it put it all together in one game. But nonetheless, we've been winning, so I've been happy.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say. I mean, they've been playing good ball, bro. You got to call it what it is, and I think all of us, like you kind of alluded to, being in those tight games is what builds you and kind of push you through, through towards the end, right? Like a lot of teams, you got to go through those situations where you're supposed to beat a team and you don't beat them by as much as you should, because when you get into a game like this week, right, where it might be 24-23 or something like that, like a real close game, your heart ain't beating too fast. You feel me? Your heart ain't beating too fast. So, yeah. I mean, it's been enjoyable to watch. I watched that USC game and it was a good game, man. That tight end, I don't know who this tight end is. I tweeted.
Tyler Warren, that boy fire.
Bro, he the one. Bro, lining him back, center, all type of stuff. He the one you got to stop.
they call him Psycho T. That's
crazy.
He like that.
Yeah, I mean, y'all done had some solid production producing tight ends over the last several years, too. I got to give y'all some credit. Yeah. Y'all been well known for the linebackers, but the tight end's been looking the part. Y'all, I don't know where y'all be finding them, because we used to have some solid tight ends. We kind of missing that. Yeah, always missing that lately. Yeah,
Iowa gets the rep for tight end U, but I feel like that's more so what they do when they get to the league.
Yeah,
they Iowa's run the ball more so with tight ends are blocking, but they had great players. But yeah, we've had a run since my days. Coming up on 10 years, even before that. But it's been almost every year there's been a guy or two that's been pretty darn good in getting drafted.
It's been solid. What have you been thinking about y'all quarterback this year? Last year he wasn't turning the rock over, but I feel like he didn't really take y'all to the next step. This year he's been playing pretty solid. Drew Aller. I mean, he got that prototype with about 6'5", 6'6", got the arm strength. What are you seeing from him this year that's allowed him to have more success?
Man, we've been talking about it, Hack and I, and it's really just confidence. Obviously he was, as you just said, he looks the part, prototype, had was 5-star, all that coming in, so he had a lot of, expectations. But last year, really looking at it as the players we are, it was his first year starting, so how much could we really – he wasn't a freshman, but first year starting, how much can we really expect from him? New system, all that good jazz. So this year, it looks like he's got a hone of another new system, but confidence is just overflowing. He's letting the ball rip over the middle, tight windows, and he looked like he slimmed down a little bit. I think they've talked about that. So he can kind of move his feet a little bit. He's run for a few third, fourth downs. You know, he not Mike Vick or Lamar Jackson.
You can scoot a little bit.
Yeah, you can scoot a little bit.
And y'all got the other quarterback too that come in for the little trick stuff, Prebula. Yeah. So y'all got one of those. So he don't need to do it too much. Oh man. So let's kick it to the matchup this weekend. What do y'all think? What do you think is the biggest factor for y'all to go on the road and beat us in Camp Randall?
I need to hear this.
I know. There's been, we've been posting stuff. Sojourn, tag me. Honestly, I literally see the Big Ten almost like the NFC East and the NFL is like it's really any given Saturday. These games can go any which way. Regardless of record, I always believe. I was talking about this week. Wisconsin is always Wisconsin to me. It's like that's a tough team. That's a well-coached team. And you going over there to Camp Randall, another road trip, it can get scary if you let it get scary. So, one thing Hack and I always preach is just hopefully these guys got that maturity to, like, go handle business. Don't let, the hype of y'all said it number 3, Penn State number 3. That's
yeah.
It looked good.
I ain't even – oh, go ahead. Finish, B.
I'm just saying, as a player, I'm hoping they're not listening, buying into that too much because, as y'all know, those Badgers will come scoop you right off your feet.
It's so crazy. I was looking today on ESPN. I was like, let me see where Penn State ranked. Because, obviously, with Texas losing this week, I say, damn, them people number 3. So that's a lot of pressure. A lot of people going to be definitely, they trying to, put a target on you and find any little thing to try and, bring your team down. And that's a big one, man. They pretty much the number 1 team in the Big Ten, honestly. So, it's going to be a tough one, though. I think for us, we got to stop that run game and we got to stop that tight end. Run game always been. What you laughing at, Warren?
Warren got the keys.
We need to put some pressure on that quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. No, we do. But that come with, what I'm saying, rattling them. But Penn State gonna run that ball, And
sure.
If you watch the games, like the past game has been successful, but it ain't been as lethal as like when I played Penn State, like. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because you talk about tight end I ain't saying Penn State receiver but they done had a lot of good. It had some dogs come through, come through that receiver room, man. But I just think we got to first slow the run game down and then, like you said, Warren, get pressure on the Q, man. And
we gotta make them
score points.
What's the keys, Warren? What's the keys for us to go take down number 3 team in the country?
I'm gonna tell you right now, defensive line step up, bring their heart. It's one of them games where it's just like the front, like we talk about it every year. We talk about going against Iowa. We talk about playing against Penn State, Minnesota, Ohio State. Playing in the trenches, right? The front 7, like Brandon knows, like being in the trenches, like it's in the Big Ten, like that's where the game is won and lost. No offense to y'all, skill players, like y'all cool and all, but if this is where the game is won. So like on the defensive side of the ball, we got to be gap sound. We got to be able to slow down the run. Penn State's got 2 very good running backs, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, like dog running back. So, and they got a really good front 5 that's been able to protect Drew Aller too and been able to open up some running lanes. So defensive line, like I'm putting it on them. They got to be able to, stand some boys up, reset the line of scrimmage and allow the linebackers to be able to move, allow the linebackers to be able to make plays. And, D-line's got to make plays as well. But one of the things that we struggled with early on was being gap sound. And this is going to be a big test for us. This is going to be the best offense that we've played so far from what we've seen of the other teams that we play. You could say USC, but, USC is just taking a little bit of a tumble and Penn State's been able to consistently get better week after week. So we definitely got to handle our business on the defensive side of the ball, at least from a defense perspective. I think what the Badger media needs to do is hype up Penn State and Ohio State and get them looking a week ahead so they can sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when you look a week ahead, when you look a week ahead, sometimes the team that you played the week before slip in there and get a quick dub, So, Wisconsin media, ESPN, whatever y'all doing, man, keep hyping up Penn State, Ohio State so they can sleep.
Hey, B, y'all pod. Hack talked about it. Hack said, you feel me? They're gonna out athlete us, and they already looking crazy. He said
it. It ain't just we ain't got just corn-fed boys. Like we got some scooters now. Dang,
we got a few of them.
We got a few of them.
That was hack on that one. Y'all definitely. Yeah, man. Like you said, it's gonna be one up front. Honestly, we didn't run the ball as well as I would have liked against USC, and you saw how tight that game got. Our offense was able to make plays in the passing game, but similar to what Sojourn was saying, it's not necessarily lethal. Just drop back and sling it around the yard. We definitely need the run game. So starting offensively for us. Got to establish, it may not be explosive plays as much as we want them, but a consistent enough run game so we can get the play action game going and everything like that and try to find those deep shots downfield. And same thing on the defensive side. We got a lot of speed up front, which I think I know that's a lot. That's going to be a lot to handle for y'all boys. But just like you said, Warren, gap accountability, we've been kind of dicey in that regard because we get up the field so fast, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword for us with all the athleticism we have up front. We can kind of get gashed, and you see that every week, to be honest. And I know Wisconsin's going to want to try to, control that offensive line. So, but I think when it comes to the back end, I think that I'm confident in our back end, locking up against y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
That's my
Trent. And you hear this, Trent? Let's go now.
Offensively, we got to create some explosive plays. We've been able to do it the last couple of weeks. We're gonna have to do it against this defense because we can't drive the ball 10, 11, 12 plays every drive. I don't think we can quite do that. I know we're working on it. I like the way Tyree Walker running, Dupree running and all that, but I don't think that's going to be effective against this team. Vinny Anthony, some of those dudes on the outside, we're going to need about 1 or 2 plays to, skip some of those third downs because I know they like to dial stuff up over there. They're going to have all the trick blitzes, all the mug blitzes and everything like that. I don't think we want to put ourselves in that situation too much. And we got to play from ahead. We're not a team that can play from behind. Like currently at the moment, we not built for that. We're going to have to jump out 7-0, get a little confidence early on. Defense, got to do whatever you can to slow those guys down. But I think it'd be a good matchup, be a fun one to watch. Obviously, they moved it to a night game, so that's always fun in the camp. Ooh. Yeah, that'd be a great atmosphere. They honoring my guy Monty Ball at that game, so that'd be dope. I don't know if he get to talk to the team or nothing like that, but hey, hopefully punk the boys.
You play with
Yeah, I play with Monty, yeah.
I remember when y'all came to Penn State, I was a recruit, and he was the running back then, and he was cold, man. I remember that 2-0 like
Yeah, y'all got us, man. We went on the road. That joint was cold.
Matt McGloin.
That game was cold, boy.
It was a night game, James?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was a night game. It was a night game. OT.
When that thing was cracking, boy.
I remember that game, bro. Like Monty was the guy that year, so he was rolling. And I was kind of like a little interchangeable, that type of thing. I remember we went into OT, bro. My hands was so frozen. I was like, and we had a play that was like designed like for me, like go in the flat camp, like please don't call that. My hands froze right about now. Don't throw me in there, boy. My hands are bricks.
I don't want to get too sidetracked, but just because we on it now, coldest game you've ever played, Big Ten wise.
I think we all got the same answer. Minnesota. Boy,
he played
like
James, your senior year. Yeah, bro. Negative 20 wind chill, bro. Was drinking chicken broth at halftime. Chicken broth.
Bro, we had a teammate. I think somebody had to stay, bro, because it's about to lose their toe or something like frostbite. It was crazy.
It was Army.
It was Ethan.
Yeah.
Ethan Armstrong. Yeah. But I knew it was cold, bro. I want to say maybe the second possession of the game. Bro, it was a certain formation, cut, split. I know the receiver running it out, bro. I'm telling myself, like, bro, if he throw this jump, I'm just going to pick it. I'm going to crib it. But my feet wouldn't. It's like my body telling me put this foot in the ground and cut it. My feet wouldn't work, man. That shit was cold, bro.
Similar to James's story, I remember I was a freshman. We played up there before they got the renovations. And, man, I had to be late November. I don't know what it was, but literally everybody on the bench was by the heaters. And the strength staff coaches, we had Coach Fitz, if you know him. He was with the Giants. I don't know where he at now, but, crazy, sleeve shirt. That's not sleeve shirt. Of course, that's it. What the hell are y'all doing? Get up off the heaters. Everybody was like a pack of lambs, just like. I was only on kickoff, so I was running down, trying to get warmed up to run down real quick, bang my fingers up and run right back off. That was Minnesota was different.
Yeah, Minnesota, that's a completely different
That's
breed.
a different type of pain.
I'm the coldest guy I ever played in my life. I don't ever cramp. I don't ever like do none of that. My calves was cramping. Like, bro, I don't know what was going on, bro.
I remember that game was colder than that AFC Championship game in Kansas City.
Yes,
bro. When I tell you
that joint was cold too, but that Minnesota jump,
it
wasn't negative 20 in KC. I'll tell you that much, boy.
Bro, they was trying to have a front seven go sleeveless, bro. Bo, Brendan Kelly, Army, Borland, bro, all them boys was going sleeveless. Putting them sleeves on them. Bump that. Y'all tweaking.
Bro, that joint was freezing, man. So I got to talk about it, man. Penn State is definitely one of those, linebacker universities. You got to wear the sticks is what they like to call it, number 11. What was that like? Getting that honor. I'm pretty sure it started with LeVar Arrington, right? So what was that honor like for you?
Man, to keep it a bean, and you could probably find this back in the Twitterverse back then, but I honestly, to answer your question first, it was an honor, and it was best part of my college experience. It was just, you definitely feel that energy, but I wasn't too aware of that energy when I started the number, to be honest. 11 always been my favorite number. I've been public with this before. I was never able to get in high school. I never was like a diva, so I got whatever they gave me type thing. And I wasn't able to get in high school. Didn't really try too hard. I wanted to get it coming into college, and Coach Ron Vanderlyn, the linebacker coach who coached 90% of the LBU that we know who that is. When I came into Penn State, he kind of was like, "Yeah, take this 2-6." And I did, and went and did my thing for 2 years, and then Coach Franklin came in, and it was after the bowl game in New York. I was like, "Yo, I want to change the number 11." He was like, let's get through Christmas after the bowl game. We'll talk about it when we come back." And they granted me, the number 11. I was like, "Bet, let's do it." And then that's when I kind of felt the history come along with it, and I went public and kind of told the press like, it's just a number. Trying to and kind of came out of nowhere, was tweeting me, "Hey, somebody school this young kid up." I was like, "Oh," but nonetheless, me and LeVar have been tapped in ever since, and that's big, bro. And definitely, it's a lineage to it, man. And I like I said, I felt it when you put that on. You just felt good. So nice. You wear number 1 twice. That's kind of
that's fire.
Yeah.
Get that respect. Get that respect factor.
Yeah, you feel that energy. You flying around making plays, and now they talk about it. After me, there's been some better athletes, players. Gotta do it right now.
Yeah,
definitely some first round talent. I was good, but I was clearly not first round talent. So, but I think my place in the number 11 was right where it was supposed to be in that Penn State kind of.
Hey, Kurt gonna find it.
But yeah, right in the kind of landscape of just where Penn State was at the time when I came in 2013, kind of keeping Penn State afloat. That was kind of my job as the number 11 in my era.
Feel that.
Dope. You talk about you mentioned Abdul Carter, the new sticks this year. Is he a junior this year or this is sophomore? Pretty sure he's junior this year. So yeah, he very well could be a first round talent. What have you seen from him this year? And because he came in as a freshman, doing his thing. He got granted that his freshman year to number 11.
Yeah,
off the rip.
Rightfully so. I mean, you saw it when he stepped on. He was getting the Mikey comparisons because that's who was before him, Michael Parsons. And they were different, but that explosion off the ball and like that closing speed is just you guys know you can't teach that.
Yeah.
He has that. But this year, man, we had to move him down to DN. I'm sure you guys saw outside linebacker on the edge, kind of more permanently. And I think last year he was still making strides as a stack backer, where he was affecting the game at all 3 levels because he can rush. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
He can rush. He was reading, reacting, and he was dropping deep in pass zones and running with receivers and tight ends because he can do it. So he's really like a jack of all trades, but kind of stationary edge now. we get kind of tricky with him on third and longs. But, man, he has the talent to do really whatever he wants to do on the field. That's kind of the only thing I miss. If he was able to kind of play both sidelines as a backer, it would only –
So, yeah, bro, I want to ask you, man, where y'all get these dudes from? Obviously, Parsons in the league, cutting up. Dual Carter, he pretty much is next up, obviously. Like, where you think, y'all boys being able to pull, and how y'all think y'all able to pull all this talent in?
Hey, man, I mean, those two dudes are Pennsylvania products. Micah's from Harrisburg, Abdul from Philly. So, they always talk about recruiting the state, got to recruit, got to win the state. And obviously, NIL nowadays, it definitely helps. You can't knock it. I'm sure you guys probably talked about that a bunch on here. As, Sojourn and I don't know if you saw, we might get that retro back.
Y'all lucky. I get cut off from that.
For 1 year.
That 1 year.
And it's the year that really, our senior years, we actually had an impact. And I mean, we played in some meaningful games, both made a lot of plays. So, 2016 college, NCAA, whatever, I need y'all to come through with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2016, we got to talk about.
We got to give me 1 second, bro. We on the topic of recruiting, and I asked this to everybody, bro. Hey, Brandon, keep it a bean with us. It's legal now. How much they drop on your doorstep to get you at Penn State?
Honestly, bro, I can, without a doubt, clean conscience say nothing. Because you got to think. One, I wasn't a big recruit. I was a 3-star, so, that's not – people was calling, but it's not like they was, begging for me to come necessarily. But also Penn State at the time, we coming off the – sanctions. So we were in the sanctions. I was committed when they threw the hammer down.
I feel that. Yeah.
So I remember what's it called? Compliance, right? Every school got compliance. Everybody neck. They was at practices. They was walking around the building, walking around campus with like a kind of, there was no room for us to kind of get mixed up in anything else. It's
either that or it's a great cover up.
I wish I was a stud athlete in high school or a bigger stud athlete to get chased down and get the bag. Trust me, if I got the bag back then, you would have noticed.
Would have been hard to find.
AB, was it Penn State 100% always, or did you have other schools that you was like, man, I'm thinking about going here, but you end up going, you end up staying. Well, you from Jersey, so, but you like, how was that? What was the recruitment process like for you?
I mean, it was fun. It was amazing. It was, for a kid like me, where I'm coming from in Jersey, I'm not sure how much y'all know about Jersey football. You may, Jersey and think about like the Don Bosco Preps and some of these big name schools, but that's North Jersey. They got the big names. I'm from South Jersey, closer to Philly, where it's not that. And at the time, it was just not a football area, right? So I started getting recruited, and there's been guys from around the way that come up, but definitely not at the rate at which, North Jersey has. So when I started getting recruited, it was like my eyes were opening up to all these different possibilities. And I wasn't a Penn State guy, similar to the number 11 story. Like I wasn't necessarily tapped into everything, like drinking the juice since a little kid, like a lot of fans are and kids are. It wasn't until I went up there on a visit. And like I said, I don't come from a football town. We wasn't shutting down the town. We weren't necessarily historically good at football at my small public high school. So when I went up there and they was like, yo, this is a football town. We got 100K at the stadium no matter what. We on TV every week. My eyes blew up. I'm like, oh, that's prime time. I'm trying to be in that prime time. And then, of course, the education and alumni and all that adding to it. But so it wasn't until I got up there and I fell in love with it. And then that's when I kind of was like, oh, this is where I want to be. At the day, it probably came down to, back then, I had a lot of Big East offers. All the schools back then, a few, some Big Ten. I was getting some SEC interest. They wanted me to come to a lot of camps and things like that. even with the Penn State offer, I remember Ohio State called me like the next day. They wanted me to come to a camp. Alabama wanted me to come to a camp. And I'm like,
I ain't going to be here.
Shoot, I remember, I tell this story to my friends sometimes. I remember Stanford came to my school and they was interested. And the coach at the time was like, look, we're interested in you if you're interested in us. But you don't have to take those SATs again. This and that. My senior year summer, I'm like, I don't know. I got offers. I can go to school somewhere. But no, I ended up falling in love with Penn State. I really love Northwestern and Rutgers. Probably was my top three. I was a Northeast kind of kid, so it was going to be somewhere cold as we all went, But it came down to Penn State and fell in love with it.
You say you're from South Jersey. Did you ever play against Corey Clement in high school at all?
Nah, I didn't, but definitely knew of Corey. Like I said, there wasn't too many guys popping up going D1. I feel like our class, we revved it up. Like I said, there was history of it, but Corey, who had Anthony Everett, who I think they had cousins too.
Yeah, they
played
together. Yeah.
But nah, I never played against them. They was out of Glassboro. I think they play now, but the way the leagues were structured back then, we stayed a little closer to our counties. But yeah, no, I knew of Corey, coming up in the camp circuit and all that back then. I used to think I was going to be a running back until
and we all did.
So we got to go to that 2016, Big Ten championship game. I was you and Soj, y'all went toe to toe, and I remember watching that game. Now we watched the clips a little bit earlier. I didn't realize we was up that many dang points.
We tricked it.
We kind of. I let y'all kind of have this Discord.
Yeah,
I wasn't part of
classic, bro.
It's crazy, man. Because I really got some stories from that game. Like I remember the whole process. One of my favorite stories. We coming out the tunnel. They playing some like horn or something. TJ Watt next to me, like, this is not a fucking drill. I'm like, it's real. So obviously we come out, man, and we get started off hot. Man. And then I don't know if you remember, it was a point in the game. TJ smacked Trace.
Yeah.
He smacked Trace. And when he was getting up, it happened right in front of me. So when he was getting up, Trace was like kind of woozy or whatever. So me, I'm talking I'm screaming, he tapping out. So it's just when we lost, like, bro, I think that's why, I shared some pictures in the group chat a little bit earlier, like, man, I was crying after
the tears,
bro. Just because of like the whole build up, like coming out, I'm like, oh, this different. This game different. Hit Trace, he looked like he coming off, like he got a concussion. I'm like, all right, we about to blow these people out. Saquon, listen, so I will say this.
He couldn't get loose.
So when we ran out, I seen Saquon that's a big joker, dog. But Saquon couldn't get loose. I'm like, damn, this supposed to be the number one back, But I'm like, bro, we play good backs all the time. But man, just how that game went, man. I got stories for days from that game. But
bro, it was a roller coaster, and honestly, that was at least from our perspective, that was our season, our year, or how we played all year. Second half team for whatever reason, but man, y'all came out on fire, and we was, we had the underdog thing. I remember I got videos saved. ESPN, everybody picked Wisconsin. I forgot who it was talking like, we didn't have a chance. And it came out, it was kind of true for the first half.
Like, oh, this boy,
right? Dude, man.
They had us in the first half.
They defensive, I was hitting this off tackle joint. I don't know. I can't remember if it was a counter or a power. And it was like a simple run play, but the way it was hitting our CDB gap, I think Corey bounced that long one on it. We just couldn't stop it. It was something we didn't necessarily see in film, and obviously y'all got the big monsters up front, so it was going to be hard enough regardless. But that second half, man, I remember my big bro, Naeem, you guys may have seen videos. We can find it somewhere. He was hurt, senior linebacker, hurt towards ACL, and he was just heated. I come in at halftime, he's just ravaging at the mouth. We worked too hard for this, da-da-da-da. And a lot of kudos goes to him because he was the first player that started talking championship mentality out loud in the summer. You know how that go. We grind and everybody thinks we should be good. And at least for us at the time, it wasn't a vocal thing. It wasn't like, yo, we can win the Big Ten. We didn't talk like that until Naeem Wortman, coaches for Akron right now, he came out and started saying it, and then we all started saying it, and then a trickle down effect. So he was hot at halftime, but honestly, we were calm, cool, collective at the same time. I think it was 21-0, 28-7, maybe. I can't remember.
28-7, bro.
28-7, and it wasn't pretty. Like you said, we was getting knocked around. Shoot, Watt, Beagle, they was smacking us up. We couldn't stop the run worth a dang. So it was scary, but at the same time, we was calm. And then obviously with the offense, I can't remember who came out first, offense or defense, but the offense started getting things going, just taking shots. Shout out to Joe Moorhead, offensive coordinator, head coach at Akron right now. He started dialing it up, and the guys was coming up big.
Yes.
That gave the defense confidence. We started getting stopping the run a little bit, forcing the pass on third down, and was able to make some plays. And slowly but surely, man, like you talked about the receiver core we had at that time. Shout out Godwin. Godspeed. He just got hurt the other day, but he gonna be back. My homie Deshaun Hamilton, Saeed, Jasicki was going crazy.
Yeah.
We were deep with talent.
Bro, they was like, and that's why it was one of those, like, obviously, we played Ohio State, we played Michigan, and that, at that specific season, 2016, Michigan and Ohio State was real, real hot, right? Yeah. So, when we came up against y'all and we played, I was like, man, damn, I didn't know they had this many weapons. I mean, just second, I think he scored the first touchdown, and he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know he was just that acrobatic, and obviously he played volleyball, tall dude. Can make all the jump ball catches, but just even on the outside, like just the weapons that they had. I can't. Is it Five? Who Five is? I know his last name. Is it Deshaun?
Deshaun. Five is
Deshaun. Did y'all had K? Is it KJ Hamler? Y'all had him there, or he just didn't play yet?
Nah,
he wasn't there yet.
He wasn't there yet. Probably next year.
He was young, but we had. That was probably the deepest our core has been since. We've had, like when KJ was playing. He was obviously the guy, but as far as a 3-4 deep, anybody line up anywhere can hit you over the head. I don't know if we've had that. They all had, league success. I'm not sure if we've had that. And that's something I've kind of wanted, honestly, since then, we've kind of transitioned to like small receivers, little guys, which is cool, but it's like, we had 6 foot, 6'2", can run. It's a little different. Like we had Ohio State type of core at that time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I ain't gonna lie.
Was Miles there?
Who was that?
Was Miles Sanders? Was he?
Miles was there.
Yeah. So they had a backfield.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, that game, that boy Trace McSorley was pissing me off, boy. Hitting that home run jump, boy.
That's a warrior right there.
You ever watch a football game as a former player, knowing you can't do nothing, but like something piss you off so bad, you like, man, if I was fucking playing right now, the ball was all, bro. That game had me so hot. Seeing him doing that baseball shit, bro, had me so mad.
Damn, listen, bro. So obviously, Coach Leonard, my coach, he come in, he like, man, listen, bro, we gonna follow you, following Godwin this week. You got 12. I'm like, all right, bet. You feel me? So, bro, we get to a point in the game, right? We jump out 28-7. So it's like, they ain't. So, bro, I think right before halftime, literally right before halftime, I think it was 21-0. They throw a touchdown, and so then we come out first possession in the third, and we score. So it's 28-7. So now I'm like, okay, bet. Like, they ain't really having no success passing the ball. So, man, it didn't got to the point, right? I'm getting a call from Coach Leonard on the sideline. So I'm just looking for wherever Chris Godwin goes. So Chris Godwin he go left, right? Bro, if Trace see this, man, me and Trace got a bump. Trace would literally look and find me Like, yeah, bet. All right, he over here. I'm going over here, bro. He just start throwing bombs everywhere. I'm like, bro, so Warren. When I tell you I felt helpless, I'm like, I'm telling the safety, I'm like, bro, leave me one-on-one. Like, help them. You feel me? I'm like, coach, bro, put me in the slot. Put me somewhere else. Like, I gotta. But yeah, bro, that was a tough game, dog. Like, couldn't do.
Bro, that game. Oh, boy.
It was an unbelievable feeling. That kind of summed up our year. Obviously, we went on to the Rose Bowl, lost. That was another crazy game. It was just a dramatic year for us. Like we weren't, I don't know how to say it. We weren't necessarily, if you look at our roster, we wouldn't have stacked up against a lot of squads. I mean, you guys, like you said, Ohio State, Michigan, but we had dogs, we had fighters, like you said. Trace get knocked up the head. First round TJ Watt or coming first round TJ Watt, but we got up, man. That was the deal that year. We got up, kept fighting, and as long as we did that, we knew we had a chance. And that was the mentality that, kind of like you say, Warren, about watching games. Now I want to ask you guys, like, how is it doing this pod? Talking about your boys, but also, in respect that, like, what they going through. But it's still like, yo.
It's funny. We was going to ask you the same question. I'll let Warren go. Warren and Soul,
I'm critical.
I'm critical. I'm not saying we had the best teams and anything like that, but, like, we carried ourselves to a certain extent. I'm not saying the guys don't do it, but just like we're just used to a particular style of play. Like we wear you down, we run the ball, we play physical defense, So when we don't see that, when like the positions that we play or something like, for example, for me, like the defensive line, bro, when we're not playing up to a standard that we try to set each and every year, like front seven on the defense got to be the toughest motherfuckers on the field. I don't care who on the field, like. D-line and linebackers got to be the most physical. They got to be the nastiest, the meanest. I don't care who else is on the field. Well, we're not playing like that, bro. Just get my blood hot and just like, bro. And and I try not to be too critical. Obviously, they're playing a different style of defense, like different responsibilities and things like that. But one thing never changes is the physicality that you have to play with, the mean attitude that you have to play with in order to be successful up front. And just like when we're not doing that, bro, that shit pissed me off. Yeah. It makes me mad. So, bro, I'm super critical. But just because we've been there and we've played it, we know what it takes to get better, to improve. We know what it looks like to be, have a poor performance and what it takes to bounce back. But like when you see, early on when we were stringing along, now we were winning, but stringing along poor performances, like we knew what was going to happen come Big Ten season. Yeah. So we knew what the guys had to do, and it was just hard not seeing it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, fam. I'm on the verge. Some people might not let me back in a year or two, man. But I'm just to like kind of piggyback off what Warren said, bro. Like we done been there, bro. And I guess, it takes some time to get adjusted to looking at the brand of football that we've all been a part of for, 4+ years and how we play the style of ball that we do. And now it's just totally different. And I think last year, kind of expect a new coach, new regime, everything, got to get your players in. So you kind of expect to kind of start off slow. This year, got another year in to be able to, implement your style of play and your offense. And we just kind of started slow. So it was just, for me, it was just like, here we go again. It's the same thing, we was promised last year. It's starting off how it was, last year with this year. But I will say, as after the Bama game, our offense has been playing way better. And a lot of fans been in. I haven't responded. I've been a little quiet, but a lot of people been tweeting me like, somebody tweeted me. I've never even heard of it. They was like, "You ready to eat crow?" About what you said. I was like, what? We from the South, James. I'm like, bro, what? Google it, bro. Urban, like, bro, you ready to eat? Shit for what you were saying. I'm like, oh, that's what that mean. But
that's funny.
I will say this, y'all boys. I've been quiet because, the last couple of teams we've been playing, let's just say, the teams you're supposed to beat.
Yeah, but college football this year, though.
You right. But James, I need to see it. Like, okay, this is when we really need to see it. You know what I'm saying? We one of them programs that we want to be in that conversation, in that 12-team conversation. You got to be able to bring that offense and that defense and that physicality when you play the Bamas, when you play the Penn States, when you play the Oregons. Them the teams that it really matters with. So I'm gonna be watching for sure this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm critical as well. I'm probably a little bit more optimistic than them boys. I try and give them some grace, especially with the coaching changes and the style of play that they're playing now versus what we used to play. The thing that just ticks me off sometimes is when it's, I always say it's when it's consistently inconsistent. That's my issue. When you just like turn the rock over, can't drive the ball, you know, defense, we can't stop the run. Just like the simple stuff. Like I don't care if the game close. Like we playing the right brand of football and like we executing and doing the right things. Like I don't care like necessarily what it looks like. Obviously, I want them to win as many games as possible and things of that nature. But I just hate when the little stuff is going wrong. So I'm glad these last several weeks they've able to fix some of those things. Offenses look a little bit better, starting to find somewhat of an identity there. They run the football, take some shots, and that's been working for us. So hopefully they can keep that going. But as Soj said, like. The reason we went out and got Luke Fickell, things of that nature, was to recruit different and to be able to get guys to help us go toe-to-toe with the Penn States, Ohio States, the Michigans, the USCs, and all these guys, which, look, it's going to still take some time to get more of those guys in there and them to shape that thing. But we got plenty of them matchups this year. We already faced Alabama, who, they put it on us, played USC, played them okay in the first half, slipped up. Now we got a couple more. We got Penn State, then we got, Oregon too. So, when we have these type matchups, I just want to see these guys compete, the right way. Because look, we all, we didn't win all of those type of matchups when we went to Wisconsin, but the games were damn sure close. Like I'll say that. Which I mean, there's no more victories in this thing, but just the way the game looks, I want to be competitive.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I like Luke Fickell a lot. Quick short story, and I'll answer my own question. When he was at Cincinnati, you remember Vinny Sojourn?
Yeah, Vinny. Mm-hmm.
We went over there to just kind of like a Bible study. I went with Vinny, he asked me to come along, and we sat in Coach Fickell's office, chopped it up. We were talking about back when he was at Ohio State. He's just a super cool dude. And ever since then, I'm like, I'm rooting for this dude.
Right? He's a good dude.
Yeah.
So when he went to Wisconsin, I'm like, that's a good move. That's a good move up for him. I think he'll get it going. I do have confidence in him. And like you said, just that brand of football, Wisconsin, it maybe has changed, but I think you got to adapt a little bit to college football right now. And I think you guys will be okay. Like you said, you got to get the talent in there, and I can't control that, but Wisconsin's be good. It's obviously, I see you guys similar to where we are, maybe were a few years ago, just like trying to break through, being good. We're good. But like you said, Sojourn, the games that matter to be in that conversation, you got to be great, dang near elite, with some of the big dogs. And right now, Penn State's looking that way. And that's where I come from in the question of, how I see it. And I'm probably like you, James, of, I'm optimistic. I'm definitely way more critical maybe to myself. A couple years back, I was probably tweeting some crazy stuff. Former coaches and people, and I was like, okay, let me chill. And then when I started potting and talking about it, I'll keep some things more reserved. Because honestly, also what it is too, and I give them grace for we see the game now with all of our experience that we've been through, no matter all the years of college, league, any other league, and just years of watching football and understanding football. So when you see it and you're like, you got to make that play. I understand where, the 20-year-old kid may not see it quite like that just yet. Yeah. And for me, it's always in zone coverages. I'm like, one goes out, two comes in. You got to see that.
I know that. Come on. It's basic. It's basic.
Easy. Stuff like that. And I do give them a lot of grace. But at the same time, I mean, we want them to be great. And that's where it comes from at the end of the day. And I know sometimes it gets misconstrued. Like you said, the fans are crazy. They don't matter what school it is, they crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
Every Saturday, I see our fans and it don't matter what, no matter how we win, good, bad, they got something to say about something. And then I look at, any other team that may lose during the week. I'm like, we could be Florida right now, like, or any of these other schools.
Florida State.
Florida State.
It could be, just to keep perspective. But I mean, that's why we love college football at the end of the day. I mean, I think that's what everyone just feels so invested in it. And that's why the passion comes out from us, fans, the players, the coaches, and it's a great product.
Brandon, I gotta ask you. Oh, you go ahead. So.
Oh no, I just want to ask you. I mean, obviously, you kind of, stadium that I think James and Warren got a chance to play in. I didn't get a chance to play there. Hear nothing but crazy stories about it. Crazy environment, whiteout. What was that like coming out for you? On that end, using that to y'all advantage, coming out, seeing the crowd, crowd in a whiteout. Crowd going crazy, just the noise sound. How was that for you, just being able to play in that? Like
I said, man, where I come from, it's not primetime football. So when I got a chance to get in that, that brings my blood boiling. Like, all eyes on me. I mean, Sojourn, you know me. I'm quiet, reserved.
Yeah, for sure.
On the field, no matter what. But then in that environment, all eyes on me type of deal. It's like it's showtime. Like, I feel like Dion out there. Night out game, man. It definitely brings a different juice to you. But similarly, I mean, I feel like for the opposing teams coming in, if you got that same thing I'm talking about, you want to come in. So it's just an ultimate, like, competitor's environment, whether you home or away. Obviously, the noise, it does affect the offenses, which is crazy, but it's just fun, man. It's just the ultimate football environment.
That's what's up. And I got to ask you, how does Penn State treat their alumni like yourself when you guys want to come back to a game? Like, what is that like? Is it easy to give y'all a hard time? Like, what does that look like?
Man, it's relatively easy. They've always showed love. I mean, we don't get tickets, but you want to come on the sideline, do that whole deal. Just got to sign up in advance. So they got is a person, a certain person you reach out to, and then it used to be that easy. Like, yo, let's just text PJ was one of the guys that just kind of handle stuff. Now I will say, because I don't know, it's just more into it. It's like a whole online portal. They gotta mail you something or email you something and all of that. So it's a little more, I guess, legit
more
now.
Of a system, yeah.
It's still relatively easy. It's just you go online, fill it out. And then they'll have a pass for you when you get there. But I will say, parking didn't used to have to be an issue. Now they charge you. Money is flowing up there. I ain't gonna lie.
That's definitely crazy. And before we wrap up, I want to bring up can you pop up that tweet from AJ McCarron that I sent out earlier? I don't know if y'all saw it. His tweet, somebody asked him about Alabama football and what it's like currently right there. His comments were, everybody's worried about effing TikTok and having a reel and being on highlights for their personal self and personal gain and how much money they can get from NIL. We just didn't care about that shit back then. Like,
because they was already getting it.
Like, I don't know what's y'all thoughts on his comments. Look, I mean, I think the playing field is a lot more even now versus when he was playing. Alabama got all the top talent, all the top dogs. I mean, look, they had the edge probably every game they stepped foot into. Now, talent is everywhere now. So I think that's part of it. I mean, maybe TikTok and NIL plays a part in whatever. But I don't know how y'all feel about his comment.
I want to say this, and AJ, a cool dude. Come on now, man. Y'all boys, Alabama, the originators of this, dropping a little duffel off in the backyard.
You hear me?
It's there. You feel me? Take care of your peoples.
They went out of business, though. They wasn't. That was it. It was.
You feel me? So, but like you said, James, now that receiver that would have went to Bama, went to Tennessee, because even playing field, and I just think that's what I do. I will say that TikTok, it's a lot of people that is cared about their self and their brand, but I think that's always been in football, right? If you go down from college, you go to the league, it's people that's trying to make sure their image is right and up to par, and that's just what football is now. I feel like you either get adjusted to it or you know what I'm saying, you fall behind, and it's no way around it.
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, I mean, he sound like he 50, 60 years old.
Back in my day.
Nick Saban might have asked him to tweet that himself. But, I understand it. And it's obviously, you seeing kids with the phones out every second they get a chance. But that's just the young kids. That's how they do it. Anybody got kids or nephews, like, that's what it is. Like you said, you got to adjust. Trust me, if you're a coach right now, you can't just be hardcore and none of that going on in my program. Because, like you said, kids is like, all right, I'm out. It's easy as that. So you got to adjust. And with the NIL money and everything, I mean, I'm always positive brand for these kids' brands. And I think with any case, when you involve money, especially large, amounts, especially for the young ages that they are, it's going to affect, the psyche of a kid or the mentality. And it only becomes an issue when, if the kid's not mature enough, which these kids are young, so it's going to happen. I've had a young athlete, I actually help represent some athletes with a company, Act Sports, and just kind of help them, off the field, kind of life past football or any sport. And just talking about NIL, one kid kind of said, like, hey, when this kid is getting this amount of money and you're not necessarily seeing it reflect on the field, it causes a little something in the locker room, especially if the kid is now tainted and acting different. Yeah.
Dang.
So that's where it's like, I'm sure that's going on. I'm not sure if the games are living life and death as what it seemed before. It's like, hey, we lost, but, I'm still eating. Like, before it was like, check 2-3 years, I'm out, going to the league, I'm getting this bag. So it's like, I got to do anything I got to do. Now that may be tainted, but it is what it is, man. And we want the kids to get paid. This is what it comes with.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it, Warren?
No, I agree. I agree with everything they said. I mean, it's also like, they mentioned it. It's self-branding, right? So, I mean, let's be real. Like, if we had these opportunities when we were playing, and it was gonna, give us, more opportunity for financial. Now, we may not have gone to the as extreme because we did have, a focus. Like, we did get coached under a certain genre. Not saying that the coaches are any different, but our team chemistry was built a little bit different. But I mean, a team like Bama, you got all them 5-star players, things like that, guys that know that, they have an opportunity to play because of the national stage that they're on. You saying like guys like that aren't going to take advantage of that opportunity and utilize TikTok and things like that to help build their name and put money in their pockets? Like, you're crazy. I mean, maybe you weren't as highly recruited and that's how your mind worked, but everybody else on your team, like, you never know. Like, this guys on your team that probably would have juiced that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just the way it is right now. Like, it's guys branding themselves, and obviously we think a little different. Some of the stuff is over the top, but I mean, it's the way the game is right now. You got money involved.
Yeah, and real quick, you said opportunity, and that's exactly what it is. And this is the part, no matter what you don't like, you can't knock the opportunity that they have, especially in this game of football, which we know is very limited in terms of any other sport. The window of opportunity is pretty short when you think about a young man's life, our lives. We were all in it. We're all out of it now, and we're still young. So at the end of the day, it's like, what is it? The 1.2 whatever percent is going to make it to the league. And then the 0.04% of that is going to, get life-changing money. Yeah. So you 18 to 20, get what you can. That part is hard for me to knock, especially the kids not at Bama. What's the quarterback from UNLV or not UNLV?
Yeah, it was UNLV.
When I left after week 3.
Yeah. And there's a lot of quarterbacks. I think the Vanderbilt quarterback too has been kind of straight out, out there, just like, yo.
Yeah, he put his email address in.
He had that big game, and it's like, yo, is this kid gonna go and be the next Tom Brady? Highly doubt it. Can he even have a chance in the league? Sure. Who knows what can happen? But percentages are against him to make the amount of money he can make from now until he's done in college. So you getting out of school. I mean, look, I'll say it like this. you talking to a guy who had a $5,000 signing bonus coming into the league as an undrafted free agent. And that was the most money I'd ever made at that time. And I was very thankful and grateful for that. So they making what? I don't know. All off rip. So
and I want to add that too. Like, you kind of just pretty much said it, but some of these kids, this after this, it's gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, very rare do you see a lot of kids get a shot. And I think for us, maybe because I think when you're in it and you know, like, all right, I'm actually out here, I'm playing decent. Like, I'm gonna get an opportunity to at least have a chance to try and make a roster or, you know, become a star and a figure in the NFL. But a lot of kids don't get that. Even the ones that, you know, you can kind of go to Rivals and all these, you know, other scouting departments and look at, you know, 2013, these were the kids that were 4 or 5 stars. And some of them don't make it past that, right? So if you out there and you know what I'm saying, and you playing and you deserve it, I think you should walk away with college with some money to be able to at least set yourself up, you know, for, you know, whatever is next and have a little wiggle room, because a lot of the stuff that we have to deal with is very taxing on the bodies. You gotta, you know, study table this, you know, meeting, you know, with, you know, outside activities that, you know, the football team make you do. Your time is really restricted. So I think, you know, you gotta be compensated for, you know, all the things that you do while you're on campus. Got to.
Yeah, for sure, man. And AJ, man, look, you gotta get with the times a little bit. It's a little different. You know, the kids gonna be on TikTok. They gonna be about their money, but they gotta capitalize on it. And hey, man, you may not know it, which you probably should. Your teammates, them boys will definitely get some type of compensation. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't. But a lot of them players on your team, man.
AJ, I wish AJ would play. AJ,
I don't know.
AJ got something.
I don't
know. I mean, like maybe, but you know some of them
free cards,
Julios and you know, other dudes.
I remember coming out of the college and you training for combine, all that pro day, and that was the kind of first time I really interacted with like dudes from other schools. And we had a couple of SEC dudes we was with, and they was talking about all the perks they got, free this, free that. Nothing like cash in hand, but you know that's happening. I'm like, what?
Like what? Like y'all living like that?
Must be nice.
Must be nice, bro. I remember freshman year calling my mom for money to wash my clothes.
Hey, same. Man, Mom, I need grocery money.
It's real. It's definitely real. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Brandon. It was a dope episode, man. Shout out to you, man. Keep up the great work of what you're doing. It should be a great game on Saturday. Should be very exciting. I'll definitely be tuned in. You will.
Somebody said what, a 2-3 point. I forget who.
Yeah, so it was like 24, 23. It was so said.
23. I can't do it.
I don't know. I don't know what.
I'm gonna say 27, 23.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that. I like 24, 21. 20, I say 24, 21 Penn State. Our team just hasn't showed me yet against the high caliber team, so that's just giving me a little hesitation. I mean, look, the first half against USC, I was like, ooh, the boy, hey.
If they play like that,
we can.
I will say, like we talked about, and we can keep going. I'm gonna make this quick. Penn State being number 3, target on your back, and everybody's gunning. I feel like we always had that, even in my squads where we weren't ranked. It's just something about people. I don't know. They hate us. I don't know what it is. We got the best out of everybody. I feel like nobody slept on us. So
yeah,
I feel like y'all. I feel like it's funny you say. I feel like that happens to y'all y'all get the best every year,
bro. And I mean, yeah, maybe it's a good thing, but with that being said, I feel like we're not gonna sleep on Wisconsin. It'll be tough. I think it'll be a tough game though.
I'm gonna say 21-20 and Wisconsin blocked an extra point to win.
Oh, see, so James, you kind of helped me a little bit. I ain't want to be the only one, though. You feel me? But yeah, I'm gonna go Penn State.
Boy, yo,
No. And if I had to pick a score, I'm just being.
No, I'm playing.
No, and again, this is me not talking with my heart, right? And get like this is me I just think we haven't done it enough on offense. If we come out on offense and like we talked about, we gonna get a lot of those. They gonna stack the box. And it's gonna be 1-on-1 outside, and it's gonna be, hey, show me you can beat us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we win those matchups, then I think we have a chance and we will win that game. But I think if we kind of, are teetering the line, toe in the water, and not. Then I don't think we got a shot. So if we throw the ball, we come out throwing a rock, I say okay, but got to be able to throw the ball against Penn State.
Hey, message for Phil. Yo, Longo, open that playbook. Open it up.
Open. Hey, them boys got to play. They boy got to run the routes and catch that damn ball. Forget the playbook.
What
play you call?
In the video game.
We might do some smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, in the video game when you go to that.
USC, we kind of. I'm not a big fan of the tricky stuff, but hey,
if you need it.
Like I said, you're on a video game and you go to that gun formation and you gotta click RB like 30 times to get to that crazy formation.
Get there. Oh man, but that's a wrap for this Money Down podcast on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. Another dope episode. Appreciate you guys. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep tuning in.